Imagine waking up next to the person you've loved forever, the one who knows your laugh before it happens, the one who understands every odd habit you pretend isn't a habit, the one who has walked beside you through every version of life. And then suddenly, without warning, that person is lying in a hospital room, fragile in a way you have never seen before. Machines hum softly in the background, a reminder that life can change in a blink. That was the moment everything shifted for Kelly Ripa. This wasn't a television storyline. This wasn't a script. This wasn't one of those moments she could smile her way through for the cameras. This was real life. And real life doesn't ask permission before it breaks your heart. Mark Consuelos, her husband, her partner in every adventure, had been admitted unexpectedly. Kelly, who had always been the one making America laugh every morning, suddenly found herself in a world where the only thing she wanted was one laugh from him. Just one. She later described the rushing paramedics, the sharp smell of the hospital hallway, and those silent prayers she whispered over and over again. It didn't matter that she had stood in front of millions of viewers for decades. Nothing terrified her more than the possibility of losing the one person she cherished beyond everything else. She said, "We were just talking about where to have dinner, and the next minute, I felt like the ground beneath me disappeared." And then came the moment that surprised everyone, even her. Despite being exhausted and barely able to speak more than a few words at a time, Mark made a request that melted Kelly's heart instantly. He wanted to see their kids. Not out of fear, not out of panic, but out of love. That simple request held the weight of 1,000 emotions, and it left Kelly torn in the most painful way a parent can be torn. Should she rush the kids in to comfort him, or should she shield them from worry? Was she supposed to protect them or honor the one thing he wanted most? She chose love. She always chooses love. When the kids arrived, the room changed. It softened. It warmed. For a moment, it didn't feel like a hospital. It felt like home. Mark, even while recovering, held on to a sense of humor, making little jokes that only his children understood. Kelly said his spirit was still there, strong, stubborn, and determined to lift everyone up even when he was the one who needed lifting. He spoke to each child as if he were giving them tiny treasures to keep forever. To the oldest, he spoke about responsibility and courage. To the middle child, he spoke about kindness and inner strength. And to the youngest, he whispered stories about joy and laughter, because laughter, he said, could strengthen a heart better than anything else. Kelly stood there watching, and she realized something she had never said out loud. He wasn't preparing them for fear. He was preparing them for life. But even with hope in the room, nights were the hardest. Kelly found herself sitting alone in the corner of the waiting room, thinking of every memory they'd built together. Their early years on the set of All My Children, their spontaneous wedding in Vegas, their struggles, their triumphs, their children, and all the little moments that stitched their lives into one. And somewhere in those long hours, she reached a conclusion that shook her to her core. Life changes fast. Love must be spoken while you have the chance. Later, she said, "Don't wait. Tell them you love them. Hug them now. Laugh with them now." And though the journey wasn't easy, something remarkable started to happen. The man with the strongest spirit she had ever known began to fight his way back. Slowly, quietly, but unmistakably. Step by step, breath by breath, smile by smile. Kelly remembers the first time she heard him laugh again. A soft, gentle sound, barely there, but full of life. She said it was the most beautiful sound she had ever heard. More beautiful than applause, more beautiful than any moment on television. And then soon, that little spark of strength grew. He started sitting up. He started speaking more. He started making jokes again, teasing the nurses, teasing Kelly, even teasing himself. One day he said, "I look terrible." Kelly laughed through her tears and answered, "You've looked worse. Remember that time you tried to cut your own hair?" Even in the hardest moments, they found ways to laugh. That's what love looks like in real life. Eventually came the day they had dreamed about. The day Mark was cleared to go home. Kelly described walking him out of the hospital, feeling the sunlight hit his face, and thinking it was a kind of miracle. Not a dramatic one, but a quiet one. The kind that reminds you that every ordinary moment is precious. Home felt different after that. It felt fuller. It felt softer. It felt like a second chance. Their busy schedules suddenly didn't matter. Lights, cameras, deadlines, all of it faded into the background. What mattered was waking up together, sitting on the couch together, talking, laughing, holding hands. Simple things that suddenly felt like the most extraordinary gifts. Kelly said she learned something powerful from all of it. The most important moments in life are often the ones nobody sees. Not the interviews, not the red carpets, not the performances, but the quiet moments in between. When you're sitting with someone you love, saying nothing, but somehow saying everything. Mark's recovery brought their family closer than ever. Kelly became fiercely protective of their time together. Their kids, who'd always admired their parents, now saw them in a new light. A reminder that love, real love, is tested not in perfect days, but in the hardest ones. As the weeks passed and life started finding its rhythm again, Kelly felt a shift within herself. She didn't want to go back to living on autopilot. She didn't want to miss the little moments anymore. She wanted to savor everything, every joke, every hug, every ordinary morning. So she shared their story publicly, not for sympathy, not for attention, but because she wanted people to realize something she had been forced to learn. Life is fragile. Love is urgent. And nothing is more important than the people you hold close. Their story touched millions. And when Kelly returned to work for the first time after everything, the atmosphere was different. The audience was quieter, more thoughtful, almost reverent. Everyone knew something profound had happened. And when she spoke about gratitude, love, and second chances, the studio wasn't just listening. They were feeling. Her voice trembled, not with fear, but with appreciation. Appreciation for the man who fought his way back, for the family who came together, and for the reminder that even in uncertain times, love always finds a way. Their journey wasn't perfect, it wasn't glamorous, it wasn't scripted, but it was real, it was human, it was beautiful. And in sharing it, Kelly offered the world a gift, a reminder to hold on a little tighter, love a little deeper, laugh a little louder, and never take a single moment for granted. Because in the end, the greatest story she and Mark ever lived was the one that unfolded when the cameras weren't rolling. And as long as they have each other, they know one thing for certain. Every new day is worth celebrating. Every new moment is worth cherishing. And love, true, enduring, stubborn love, is always the strongest force in the room.